Welcome to Malaysia, a land of contrasts and wonders where modernity meets ancient traditions and nature amazes with its diversity. From bustling metropolises to untouched tropical forests, this journey will reveal the most vibrant and unforgettable corners of Malaysia. Interesting facts about Malaysia and Malaysians. The name of the country is translated from Sanskrit as country of mountains. The country gained its independence in 1957. Before that, the country was under the British Empire, hence the left-hand traffic. Malaysia is a country with an electoral monarchy. The kings are elected by the people. Of course, from hereditary rulers, but they still elect. The term of office is 5 years. Malaysia has a great ethnic diversity. 50% of the population are Malaysians, a fifth are Chinese, the rest are Indians, Tamils, and so on. Malaysia is a country in Southeast Asia, occupying parts of the Malay Peninsula and the island of Kalimantan. It is famous for its beaches, tropical forests, and original culture, which was influenced by Malay, Chinese, Indian, and European traditions. The capital of the country, Kuala Lumpur, is famous worldwide for its colonial buildings, the bustling shopping district of Bukit Bintang, and skyscrapers, including the famous Petronas Twin Towers, which stand 451 meters high. Malaysia is located on a peninsula and includes several islands. This is a feature that clearly distinguishes it on the world map. The country borders with Thailand, Indonesia, Brunei, Vietnam, the Philippines. Every year, the unique natural features of this country attract many tourists. The history of Malaysia is an important element in understanding its national character. Malaysia was a British colony at certain times, which left its mark on its culture and national identity. Today, Malaysia is an independent country with its own political system and government. The population of Malaysia includes the country's indigenous people, such as the Malays, as well as large communities of Chinese, Indians, and other ethnic groups. Islam is the state religion, and followers of Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, and Confucianism also live there. Characterizing this multinational world, it is worth noting that various religions also play an important role in the lives of the people of Malaysia. However, despite the ethnic and religious diversity, Malaysia is a country where harmonious coexistence of nations is the basis of the political system. This shows the strength of the Malaysian Federation, where all citizens are equal before the law and have the same rights. Thus, Malaysia is a country with a unique culture, many ethnic groups, and a fascinating history. Its geographical location and population make it truly unique, and its political system and composition are the basis of strong unity. We begin our journey in Kuala Lumpur, the capital and largest city of Malaysia. Here, skyscrapers like the famous Petronas Towers soar into the sky, while the streets buzz with life. Let's stroll through the markets and try Malaysia's famous street foods, nasi lemak, satay, and teh tarik. Kuala Lumpur is the modern capital of Malaysia, dominated by the Petronas Twin Towers. The Twin Towers are 451 meters tall, made of glass and steel, and feature Islamic influences. The towers are connected by a covered walkway, and there are observation decks at the top for visitors. The city is famous for its British-era landmarks, including the railway station and the Sultan Abdul Samad building. Kuala Lumpur is an incredible mix of glittering high-rises, old buildings and islands of tropical greenery. Its streets are lined with colonial buildings and graceful mosques, and its skyscrapers offer stunning urban views. The capital of Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, is located in the southwestern part of the Malacca Peninsula. The distance to the strait of the same name from the city is about 30 kilometers. The city, which is located in a picturesque valley surrounded by mountains, has an equatorial climate. It is warm and humid all year round. On average, the daytime air temperature, regardless of the season, is stable at plus 25-27 C. There are occasional showers, most often in April and from October to December. However, the rains in the city are mostly warm, and the clouds quickly give way to sunshine. In February and from June to September, there is almost no precipitation at all. In addition to the rainy season, the city also has a windy season. From April to October, monsoons blow in Kuala Lumpur. The coldest months are October, November, December, and July. At this time in the city plus 26-30 C, and at night it cools down to plus 22 C. In June, February, and March, the air warms up to plus 36 C. This is the hottest time in the Malaysian capital. Wandering the streets of Kuala Lumpur, you can either immerse yourself in the atmosphere of a modern city or return to the ancient past. The defining feature of this city is the famous Petronas Twin Towers. These 88-story examples of modern architecture are the tallest twin buildings in the world. And here is the Sri Mahamariamman Temple, the oldest Hindu temple in Malaysia, with a magnificent multi-tiered facade decorated with intricate carvings and colorful sculptures of characters from the Hindu pantheon. Petronas Towers, the city's most important symbol, was built in 1998 according to the design of architect Caesar Pelli. The height of this Kuala Lumpur landmark is 451.9 meters, which makes them the 21st tallest building in the world today. The towers are connected by a sky bridge at a height of 170 meters. The building of the famous Kuala Lumpur Towers houses the Petronas Philharmonic Concert Hall and the huge Surya KLCC shopping complex with expensive boutiques, cinemas, restaurants, an aquarium, and an art gallery. Kuala Lumpur City Centre is the central park near the Petronas Twin Towers. It was built in 1980 by the Brazilian architect Robert Burle Marx. There are 1,900 trees and 66 palm trees planted on the territory of the landmark. There are a huge number of green spaces, benches, bridges, and fountains. On the territory of KLCC, there are swimming pools with waterfalls, in which children can swim for free. There are several pools here, so you can find a secluded spot at any time of the day. Adults are not allowed to swim there. Sri Mahamariamman Temple. This is the oldest Hindu temple in Kuala Lumpur and the main Hindu shrine in Malaysia. The holy place was built in the 70s of the 19th century and was used only for personal needs. And in the 20s of the 20th century, everyone began to be allowed here. Sri Mahamariamman is designed as a 23-meter building with pyramidal gopurams and 228 sculptures of various Hindu deities. Anyone can enter the temple for free, from 6 a.m. until late evening. Independence Square and Sultan Abdul Samad Palace. The Sultan Abdul Samad building is located in Independence Square in Kuala Lumpur. It is a palace in the Moorish and Victorian style with copper domes, 2 large towers, and a huge 40-meter-tall clock tower in its center. Previously, the British Administrative Center was located here, and then the Supreme Court of Malaysia. Now the palace houses the Ministry of Culture. You can see the palace both during the day and in the evening, when the fabulous lighting is turned on. And on August 31st, National Day, a ceremonial parade is held in front of the building, where the whole of Kuala Lumpur walks. Jalan Alor, or Alor Street, is the culinary center of Kuala Lumpur and a street where every tourist can try Malaysian street food. Food stalls open in the evening, so there is no point in coming here before sunset. The place is located next to the Twin Towers. Jalan Alor is a 300-meter-long food court where you can try Malaysian, Thai, Chinese, Indian, Indonesian, and even Vietnamese cuisine. You can eat in cafes and restaurants or try street food, dim sum, grilled chicken wings, mini sauté skewers, and fried durian. Central Market, an alternative name for the place, is Pasar Seni. This landmark of Kuala Lumpur was built in 1888, and at that time only fish, vegetables, and fruits were sold here. Now the Central Market of Kuala Lumpur is the center of Malay crafts, souvenirs, and clothes. You can buy jewelry, textiles, antiques, and even art objects. There is a culinary line on the territory of the bazaar, where dishes of different cuisines are prepared. The stalls are divided into 3 zones: Malay, Chinese, and Indian. Entrance to the market is free. During important holidays, Chinese New Year or the Indian festival of Deepavali, festivities are held here. Royal Palace Istana Negara. This is the official residence of the Supreme King of Malaysia. Yes, it is a country with a monarchy. The huge building has 22 golden domes, around which there is a large garden, lawns, and ponds. The complex is divided into 2 wings: the royal, where the chambers of the ruling class are located, and the official, where banquets are held and oaths are taken. Tourists are not allowed to enter the palace. Jamek Mosque. The official name of the mosque is Masjid Jamek Sultan Abdul Samad in honor of the 4th Sultan of Selangor, Abdul Samad. It is the oldest mosque in Kuala Lumpur, built in 1908. The Malays themselves call the landmark the Friday Mosque. The building is made of brick and plaster in the Moorish style. Admission is free and open every day except Friday from 10 to 12:30 and from 14:30 to 1600 hours. The only rule is to be in closed clothing. Women also need to cover their heads with a scarf. Old Kuala Lumpur Railway Station. This landmark is another colonial-style building. It was built in 1910 by the English architect Arthur Hubback. It used to be the headquarters of Malaysian Railways. The station building now houses the Heritage Hotel and the Railway Museum. Malacca is a popular resort in the southwest of Malaysia, located on the Malay Peninsula. This city is known for its rich historical heritage and cultural diversity. Malacca attracts travelers with colonial architecture, colorful markets, and many museums. Here you can stroll along narrow streets, visit historical sites, and try local cuisine. Holidays here combine acquaintance with history and a cozy atmosphere of a small town. Next, we go to the island of Borneo, a real paradise for nature lovers. Some of the most ancient tropical forests on the planet are located here. We will visit the Taman Negara National Park, a place where you can walk on rope bridges above the treetops and meet unique animals. Borneo, the third largest island in the world, offers many natural wonders, especially on the Malaysian side of the island. Here you can see Mount Kinabalu, the highest peak in Southeast Asia, as well as Kinabalu National Park, rich in unique flora and fauna. Also worth visiting are the Sepalak Orangutan Sanctuary and the Kinabatangan River, where you can see wild animals in their natural habitat. In addition, the island is famous for its caves, tropical islands, and coral reefs. Borneo is the largest island in Asia, which contains the lands of three countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei. Two-thirds of the island are under the control of Indonesia and are called Kalimantan, which is divided into 5 regions. Malaysia includes 2 states, Sabah with the capital Kota Kinabalu and Sarawak with the main city Kuching. Brunei occupies only 1% of the territory. Borneo Island was discovered for Europeans in 1521 by sailors from Magellan's expedition. Almost the entire island is covered with impassable jungles over 100 million years old. The jungles of Borneo are considered the most ancient. There was no ice age and wild compared only to Amazonia on Earth. Their hard-to-reach wilderness has not yet been studied, and the nature is amazingly diverse. About 220 species of animals, 420 species of birds, and more than 15,000 plants, including 250 palms, live here. Many of them are endemic, i.e., they are found only in this place, and many have not yet been studied. The famous scientist Russell Wallace worked on the island, who, at the same time as Darwin, developed the theory of evolution and determined the Wallace line dividing the eco-worlds of Asia and Australia. It passes near Borneo. The Malaysian island of Borneo has several suspension bridges, often called canopy walkways, that pass through the jungle. These bridges are part of the tourist attractions and offer unique views of the rainforest. From the height of the rope bridges stretched over the tops of the tropical forest, you can easily observe the life of giant orangutans, miniature lemurs, lorises, or mysterious palm civets, which look like a mixture of a marten and a cat. And on the ground, travelers will meet the world's largest rafflesia flower, whose grotesque beauty is seasoned with a very specific smell. One of the most famous, amazing, and beautiful places on our planet is the canopy suspension bridges in Borneo. Walking along the creaky and swinging bridges will certainly leave an abundance of fiery memories. Sabah is a unique state on Malaysian Borneo, one of the largest islands in the world. It has endemic flora and fauna that you won't see anywhere else. Ancient tribes live in dense tropical forests, and tourists go to Mount Kinabalu, the highest in Southeast Asia, bathe in hot springs, and explore the underwater world. Sabah is famous for its beaches, coral reefs, warm sea and mountain parks, as well as a high level of safety. The area is below the typhoon line. Locals call it the land below the wind. Sabah is a territory mostly covered by jungle. Here, the closest contact with nature is guaranteed. Trips here are suitable for adventure and fauna lovers. The heart of Sabah is the city of Sandakan, located in the northeast of Borneo. You can get here from Kota Kinabalu in 1.5 hours by plane or in 6 hours by car. Sarawak is wild nature, impenetrable jungles, historical villages, and museums, a real cradle of civilization. In addition, both states have cities with ancient and modern cultural and architectural monuments, museums, art galleries, and religious buildings. One of the main magnets for tourists in Sandakan is the world's oldest rehabilitation center for orangutans, Sepalak, which is half an hour's drive from the city. Orangutans live only on two islands, Borneo and Sumatra. In Malaysia, they can still be seen in the wild. However, if you don't want to rely on chance, but at the same time you are not a fan of zoos, you can see semi-wild primates in rehabilitation centers in the states of Sabah and Sarawak in East Malaysia. In the past, orphaned and rescued animals were brought to the reserve for rehabilitation. Over time, the orangutans settled in, multiplied, and remained in the forest. They are fed twice a day. The monkeys have learned the schedule well and usually come to feeding on time. Orangutans from Malay, forest man, a genus of anthropoid apes, one of the closest to humans in DNA homology, is considered the smartest animal after humans. About 500,000 years ago, when humans were just beginning to rise above the animal world, Orangutans were beyond competition. Powerful and intelligent, they had almost no natural enemies and enjoyed an abundance of food, wild fruits, leaves, young shoots. But other times have come, and today orangutans need to be protected. The height of adult males can reach 1.5 meters, body weight, up to 100 kilograms. Females are much smaller, about 1 meter tall with a weight of 30 to 50 kilograms. Orangutans are found only in Borneo and Sumatra, but there are differences between them. For example, the Borneo orangutan is much larger than the Sumatran one and less hairy. Interestingly, the pregnancy of a female orangutan is the same as that of a human. The babies feed on their mother's milk for up to 4 years and live with her for 6 to 8 years in order to be well prepared for independent life. Orangutans live up to 30 years, and in captivity, they sometimes live up to 65 years. They eat fruits and leaves, honey, nuts, tree bark, but unlike gorillas, they are not strict vegetarians. They love insects, bird eggs, and even chicks. They rarely come to the ground to drink. They use water that collects in tree hollows. Orangutans cannot swim and are afraid of water. And orangutans, like chimpanzees, make a fresh nest in the crowns of trees every night and sleep soundly. Mature male orangutans in Sarawak can reach a height of 150 centimeters, weigh up to 100 kilograms, and have an arm span of 240 centimeters. Females are half as small. Orangutans have a low reproductive rate, typically giving birth to one baby every 7 to 8 years. Males reach sexual maturity at 15 years, but their famous cheeks, characteristic of this region, may not fully develop until several years later. Orangutans enjoy wild figs and pungent-smelling durian, but also eat young leaves, insects, flowers, eggs, and small lizards. They build a new nest each night to rest in trees at a height of 12 to 18 meters. It is a pleasure to watch these semi-wild orangutans. They behave absolutely naturally. No one keeps them locked up or forces them to do anything. At the same time, they are used to the sight of people and do not object to spectators. Sometimes, when leaving the forest, an orangutan can walk a meter from a person. If you stand still, nothing will happen. At the same time, you should not try to touch it or shove a phone in its face. Despite their size, orangutans are unusually agile and lightning fast. And nearby there is another similar attraction, a similar center for Malayan bears, which are also called sun bears. These animals live mainly in Borneo. In addition to their dwarf height for their species, 50 to 70 centimeters, they are notable for the fact that they spend most of their lives in trees. Both orangutans and bears can be met as closely as possible in these centers, observing their life in the wild. Borneo is unique in every way. It is home to animals found nowhere else, such as proboscis monkeys, orangutans, Bornean pygmy elephants, Bornean civets, and Sumatran rhinoceroses. Sadly, there is only one elderly female left in the world. The last male died in May 2019. The world's largest and smelliest flower, Rafflesia arnoldii, grows here in the jungle, and it is here, at the foot of Mount Kinabalu, that one of the most expensive flowers in the world can be found, the Paphiopedilum rothschildii orchid, or as it is popularly known, the Rothschild slipper. Selingan Island also offers unusual opportunities, also half an hour away from Sandakan, but by boat. This is one of 2 places in the country where sea turtles come out every day to lay eggs. And every day you can watch the hatchlings and take them to the sea. You can see Borneo endemics, cute proboscis monkeys, in the Labuk Bay Proboscis Monkey Sanctuary. Proboscis monkeys, or kahau, are endemic to the island of Borneo and live in the Malaysian part of the island. They are known for their large, distinctive noses, especially the males, and prefer to live in mangrove forests and swamps near rivers. Proboscis monkeys live in mangrove forests on the coast and are excellent swimmers. They can swim 20 m underwater. These monkeys eat only leaves. Never try to feed them a banana. This will cause indigestion and the animal may even die. Males have large, protruding noses, and females have smaller, more upturned noses. Locals call them Dutchmen because of the similarity of their noses to the noses of the Dutch colonizers. You can explore the flora by walking along a specially equipped bridge at the Rainforest Research Center or by going for a walk along the Kinabatangan River, which is almost 500 kilometers long. It is the longest river in Malaysia. In addition to admiring the scenery, the main entertainment on this trip is bird watching. Other outdoor activities include jungle walks with a ranger and a stay at a lodge where you can plant a tree yourself, learn to dance local dances, and cook national food. A holiday in Borneo offers a unique experience that combines the splendor of untouched nature, abundant wildlife, cultural diversity, and marine adventures. This is a place where you can dive into the deep tropical jungle, meet orangutans, explore the underwater world, and get to know the unique cultures of the locals. Borneo is a place where an arrogant person can feel the true grandeur of nature and see his microscopic essence, a place where one wants to reevaluate values, separate the wheat from the chaff of our life, and regain lost inspiration. Malaysia is a country of many cultures and religions. Malays, Chinese, Indians, and many other peoples peacefully coexist here. We will visit ancient Buddhist and Hindu temples, majestic mosques, and traditional villages where ancient crafts and customs are preserved. The official language is Malay, but English, Chinese, and Tamil are also widely spoken. The education system in the country allows for the preservation and development of the cultural heritage of various ethnic groups. Multilingualism is another feature of the society, where different languages are spoken, such as Malay, Chinese, and Tamil. In a country where Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, and Hinduism coexist, religious tolerance reigns, enriching the cultural heritage of Malaysia. People respect differences between religions, which contributes to harmony in society. The family plays an important role in Malaysian society. Traditional family values are upheld, and respect for elders is seen as an important aspect of interpersonal relationships. Traditional crafts such as wood carving, weaving, silversmithing, and wayang kulit shadow theater are well developed in Malaysia. Malaysia celebrates many cultural and religious holidays, which provide an opportunity for celebration and sharing of traditions between different communities. Muslim Malaysians have appropriate rules in food. They abstain from pork and alcohol. They prefer coconut water, tea, and coffee. Malays are very hospitable and are happy to receive guests in their homes. They usually eat with their hands. Utensils are used only on formal occasions. In this case, the right hand is considered clean and the left is not used for eating. Malaysian Muslims have a diet that is very strict. They abstain from pork and alcohol. They prefer coconut water, tea, and coffee. Malays are very hospitable and are happy to receive guests in their homes. They usually eat with their hands. Utensils are used only in formal occasions. In such cases, the right hand is considered clean and the left is not used for eating. Over time, Malay music has evolved into a refined and highly artistic phenomenon, represented by the hypnotic rhythms of the gongs and strings of the gamelan orchestra, as well as the solemn melodies of the brass court orchestra, the nobat. Malay dance has been heavily influenced by India and China, resulting in a cultural fusion of dance that incorporates elements of Malay court dances, South Indian temple performances, and Chinese street ceremonial dances. The most popular forms of folk dance in Malaysia are joget, a fast couple dance of Portuguese origin, tarian lilin, a smooth women's dance with candles, Dayton Jalit, a dance from Sarawak that illustrates the ancient tradition of storytelling, dragon dance, or lion dance, costume dances used to celebrate the Chinese New Year. One of the most recognizable forms of traditional Malaysian art in the world is the shadow theater wayang kulit, whose actors are two-dimensional puppets made with the highest craftsmanship. The plots of shadow theater performances go back centuries, to the works of the ancient Indian epics Ramayana and Mahabharata, supplemented by local legends of the Javanese and Malay tribes. Performances usually last for many hours. Making and flying colorful wow kites is a favorite pastime for people of all ages in Malaysia. On the east coast of Malacca, the mass launch of these giant air toys is timed to coincide with the end of the rice harvest. Malaysia is famous for the skill of its craftsmen throughout Southeast Asia. One of the most popular Malay crafts is wood carving of valuable species, which are abundant in the tropical forests of Malaysia. From the hands of local craftsmen come amazingly beautiful carved decorative elements, dishes, furniture, as well as sculptures and carved panels, which can be purchased in most souvenir shops in the country. Another type of craft that is widespread in different regions of Malaysia is pottery. Ceramic jugs and pots of the most unusual shapes are covered with intricate patterns and bear images of dragons, deities, and mythological creatures. Perhaps the most recognizable product of Malay artisans all over the world is the kris dagger with a wavy blade resembling a writhing snake. The blade of this unusual weapon is forged by an experienced blacksmith sorcerer empu from many dozens of layers of steel, sometimes using meteorite iron. There should always be an odd number of bends on the dagger, and their number has a sacred meaning. It was believed that a real kris has magical properties and is able to provide its owner with protection and prosperity. Such a dagger is considered an obligatory part of the traditional attire of any wealthy Malay, demonstrating his social status. In peacetime, the kris is always worn on the right, since another position would indicate aggressive intentions. Cultural diversity and rich weaving traditions have made the traditional costume of Malaysia surprisingly diverse and aesthetically appealing. A wide range of fabrics are used to make folk costumes, from bright waxed batik to the amazingly beautiful brocade fabric songket or the intricately embroidered fabric puakam. The wedding attire of Malay newlyweds is traditionally decorated with luxurious gold embroidery teket. The Malay women's costume traditionally consists of a loose knee-length blouse with a long skirt, called a baju kurung. The outfit is completed with a shawl called selendang or a headscarf called tudung. The men's attire, called baju Malaya, consists of a loose blouse and trousers, combined with a long piece of cloth called sampin wrapped around the waist. The National Mosque of Malaysia Masjid Negara is the largest mosque in Kuala Lumpur, accommodating up to 15,000 people. Together with the surrounding gardens, the Muslim shrine covers an area of 53 square meters. It is considered a national treasure, symbolizing the independence of Malaysia. Built in 1965, the mosque reflects modern architecture with elements of traditional Islamic art. Its main feature is the blue star-shaped dome and the 73-meter minaret, reaching upwards. The mosque grounds include spacious courtyards, fountains, and gardens. The interior is impressive with stained glass windows and geometric and Arabesque-inspired designs. Accommodating up to 15,000 worshippers at a time, the mosque is a venue for major religious events as well as regular prayers. Masjid Negara is open to tourists except during prayer times. Visitors are required to remove their shoes and adhere to a dress code before entering. The mosque also provides special capes for those who are dressed inappropriately. Guides are available on site to explain the history and significance of this architectural masterpiece. The Bata Caves Temple is one of the most famous cave temples in Malaysia and definitely one of the main attractions of Kuala Lumpur. It is a Hindu temple, and according to some versions, it is the largest of all Hindu temples outside of India, but in fact it is not so. But it is one of the most popular. There are always a lot of pilgrims from all over the world and tourists. Almost every tourist visiting the capital strives to see it. The temple is located in the largest of the many limestone caves of Batu, called Bright. According to various estimates, there are about 30 caves here, but most of them are inaccessible to tourists, and in general there is nothing to do there. The most interesting are the caves with temples. The temple paraphernalia begins at the foot of the mountain, on the platform in front of the main staircase. Here you can see several simple temple structures and statues. The most important statue is a huge 43-meter statue of the god Murugan, recognizable from images on many tourist products in Malaysia. Murugan is the god of war in Hinduism and the leader of the army of the gods. Malaysia is famous for its picturesque islands and beaches with white sand and clear waters. Some of the most popular islands include Langkawi, Penang, Tiamen, Redong, and the Perhentian Islands. Beaches range from bustling and developed, such as Tsanong on Langkawi, to secluded and tranquil, such as Juara on Tiamen. Langkawi is the perfect place for relaxation and adventure, while the Perhentian Islands are a paradise for divers and underwater enthusiasts. Langkawi is one of the most famous resorts in Malaysia, an archipelago in the Andaman Sea. The Langkawi Islands are popular for their white beaches, crystal clear waters, and lush tropical vegetation. Here you can enjoy a beach holiday, engage in water sports, or go for a walk through the mangrove forests. Langkawi is also a duty-free zone, which attracts shopping enthusiasts. It is the largest of the 99 islands of the Langkawi archipelago in the Andaman Sea in northern Malaysia. The island is located on the border of Malaysia and Thailand and is located 30 kilometers from the mainland. When people talk about Langkawi, they usually mean the island of Langkawi, not the archipelago. It is the most popular island resort on the west coast of mainland Malaysia, far ahead of its only popular rival, Penang. Rest in Langkawi is primarily a beach holiday. The beaches, both on Langkawi Island and on the neighboring small islands of the archipelago, are very clean and cozy. Among all the beaches, there are quite a lot of secluded, almost wild beaches, and at the same time, they are well equipped for a comfortable holiday away from civilization. Having settled next to such a beach in a bungalow, for some time you can become the owner of your own beach, or even a small, uninhabited island. If you want active entertainment, shopping, delicious food, then Langkawi has enough of this. You will not be bored here from idleness, unless you want it yourself. You can choose to visit a cable car, an aquarium, a crocodile farm, an African buffalo farm, and a fruit plantation, or engage in water sports entertainment. You will not find any outstanding historical or cultural attractions on Langkawi, but there are many natural attractions, including many waterfalls, caves, unusual beaches with black sand, and bathing monkeys. And another small but very significant gift to the guests of the island is that the entire island is a duty-free zone. Accordingly, the prices for many goods, including alcohol, which is very expensive in Malaysia, are low here. Weather, tourist seasons. Langkawi Island is located in the equatorial climate zone and is hot and sunny all year round. The best time to visit Langkawi is from November to April. The rainy season and low season lasts in Langkawi from September to November, but this does not mean that you should not give up on a trip to the island at this time. During the season, not a drop of rain may fall for many days in a row. And even if it does rain, it usually ends very quickly. Penang Island, an island and state in Malaysia on the west coast of the western part of the country in the Andaman Sea. The island is located several kilometers from the mainland coast and is connected to it by a bridge. The city of Georgetown is located on the island, which is the capital of the state and was included in the UNESCO World Heritage List in 2008, thanks to its numerous architectural monuments. Holidays in Penang are, first of all, acquaintance with cultural and historical sites, shopping, excursions, and entertainment. Life in Penang is lively, like in a big city. There are nightclubs and other entertainment venues, restaurants and shopping centers, souvenir shops and night markets. As for beach holidays, they are concentrated in Penang only in certain resort areas of the island. Most of the embankments of the island outside the resort areas are dirty, with roads and skyscrapers adjacent to them. This is a port shopping excursion island, and you should not go here only for a beach holiday. But there are good hotels and a lot of budget accommodation, a variety of restaurants, beautiful temples, parks, and gardens. Weather, tourist seasons. The tourist season in Penang lasts all year round, but there is a low season and a high season. Penang usually sees the least number of tourists between September and November during the rainy season. The peak season starts in late December and ends after the Chinese New Year, usually in late January to mid-February. The Perhentian group of islands consists of Susu Dara, Perhentian Besar, Ra, Perhentian Kessel, Serenga, and Susu Dara Besar. All the islands are located approximately 20 kilometers from the mainland. Dive operators are located on Perhentian Kessel and Perhentian Besar. These twin islands are located on the edge of the Redong Island Nature Reserve and are surrounded by coral colonies. Perhentian is a paradise for divers, water sports enthusiasts, and anglers. It is also one of the few places where giant leatherback turtles breed. The main value of the Perhentians is the cleanliness of the coast and water, as well as the diversity of flora and fauna here. You can even meet monitor lizards and sea turtles. Externally, the nature and landscapes resemble those of the Seychelles. There are huge stones and pieces of solidified lava. Numerous beaches are strewn with snow-white sand. The water is transparent, shades from light turquoise to the color of the sea wave. Since there are no cars or roads on the islands, you can only move around on foot or by boat. The remoteness of civilization is especially acute here, and the jungle and coral reefs emphasize the exoticism of this place. Vacationers here walk barefoot, like real Robinsons, but you can put on shoes and go for a walk along the coast or explore the low mountains. Most people come here for snorkeling or scuba diving. Tiamen is a small island off the east coast of the Malay Peninsula. The island measures 20 by 12 kilometers and is located 40 kilometers from the mainland. Those who have visited Tiamen say briefly, "Paradise." The island is a nature reserve, and its untouched nature is carefully preserved to get to the island. You even need to pay a small fee of 5 ringgit to the reserve fund. It is one of the 10 cleanest and most beautiful islands in the world. The island has many perfect virgin beaches, clean mountain rivers, and waterfalls. There are no parties or nightlife here, and time flows slowly. First of all, people go here to go diving and admire the beauty of nature. All year round, diving enthusiasts from all over the world come here to swim with whale sharks and watch underwater life that cannot be seen anywhere else in the world. It is even safe to say that Tiamen is a real paradise for divers. The visibility underwater reaches 35 meters, which allows snorkeling, and the water temperature does not fall below 29 degrees all year round. The island is surrounded by a ring of coral reefs and amazes with the diversity and beauty of underwater life. There are several more small islands scattered around Taiwan, some of which are completely unexplored by tourists, and you have a chance to become a discoverer. The infrastructure on the island is not developed, but it has everything you need for a vacation. Of the 7 villages on the island, not all have electricity, and there is only one paved road from the airport to the Berjaya Hotel. Some of the island's hotels can only be reached by water. The Malaysian government has made an excellent gift to the guests of the island by including the island in the list of duty-free islands. In duty-free shops on the island, you can buy alcohol and cigarettes at very low prices, which is very nice, considering that in Malaysia, due to high duties, alcohol and cigarettes are very expensive. Redong Beach is located on the island of the same name in the South China Sea. The beach is considered one of the best places in Malaysia for scuba diving. Visibility in good weather reaches 30 m. The best time for scuba diving is from May to October. Water temperature from plus 26 to 30 C. The underwater world around the island is rich and diverse. Hawksbill and green turtles, shell-less turtles, barracudas, rays, whale sharks, tiger sea urchins, and other marine life. Juara is one of the most beautiful beaches of Taiman Island. It is located in its eastern part. The beach is long and wide. In the center, it is divided by a mountain into 2 approximately equal parts. Also in the center of the beach, there is a local village. The right part of Juara is more suitable for swimming. It is more well-groomed, and even in-season jellyfish can swim here. There are a significant number of marine inhabitants here, and visibility at depth is very good. The bottom is almost filled with the remains of military ships, interest in which does not decrease over the years. That is why these places are very popular with divers. Malaysia is a rapidly developing country that combines tradition with innovation. In Kuala Lumpur and other cities, you will see modern shopping malls, technology parks, and art spaces that make the country attractive for business and creativity. An incredible mix of cultures and styles, excellent transport infrastructure, and very pleasant prices for accommodation have made Kuala Lumpur one of the most popular tourist centers in Southeast Asia. By the standards of other capitals, Kuala Lumpur is a young city. It was founded in 1857, but in 167 years it has managed to collect its own unique collection of attractions. It is here that the world's tallest twin towers Petronas, the Aquaria KLCC Oceanarium with 5,000 species of fish and other underwater inhabitants, the National Museum, where you can learn everything about the traditions, life, culture, nature, and history of Malaysia, the Royal Palace, Independence Square, the National Mosque Negara, and much more are located. Malaysia has one of the most developed transportation systems in the region. High-speed trains, metro, buses, taxis provide comfortable travel. Travelers can easily get from one part of the country to another, enjoying the scenery and saving time. One of the most interesting and large-scale attractions of Penang and Georgetown is the so-called Penang street art. It appeared in 2012 after the Georgetown Festival. Walking along the picturesque streets of Georgetown and its historical part on the buildings, you can see interesting paintings depicting the life and everyday life of Penang, famous characters, animals, or just funny pictures. Here you can see Bruce Lee in flight, playing children, cats, minions, and much more. Sometimes the images are supplemented by an installation of real objects, which makes them even more interesting. And on the most popular tourist streets of the old city, you can find interesting flat compositions made of wire, which also tell about the history of a particular area or street with the help of wire text. Some of these examples of street art are presented on maps or in tourist brochures of Penang, and it is very interesting to find them while walking along the street. Malaysia is a country of contrasts and amazing discoveries. Malaysia will surprise you with its multiculturalism, combination of old and modern, and stunning nature. It has everything for a great holiday: luxurious beaches, picturesque nature, and interesting attractions. Everyone will find something for themselves here. Breathtaking nature, rich culture, delicious cuisine, and hospitality that will warm the heart. Thank you for being with us on this journey. Subscribe to the channel, like it, and see you soon.